The way to get rid of tension is to do just the opposite of all the things that cause it.
Hello everyone, this is Hugo from Ichiban Painting, and today I'll be showing you how to do urban looking base, as you can see here. So this is an example of almost finished painted one. Still need to do the little tube in the middle, but here you have it, a little urban base. I have another one that's not unpainted yet, but it looks like this, with a concrete barrier that's been holes in it, and two others that are not primed yet that I finished, and I didn't put the sand in, so I'll actually be showing you how to make these. So these are really easy to make base. So basically, sorry about that, basically what you're gonna be needing is some CD case cover, cases, and I would suggest to buy the ones that have the texture in the back or both sides. And for this, I only have one side that has a texture, so I'll be using this side. So basically what you want to do when you start, and you're going to need some bits, random bits that you have. This is one of the million box of bits that I have. And so basically, you know, this is all about using your imagination. Tools you're going to be needing, you don't need them, that one you needed, the X-Acto knife, but if you do have some drill bits, 1 millimeter, 0.1 millimeter drill bits, 1 millimeter or 0.1, and that little tool, I call it a mold line cleaning tool. Is basically a triangular shaped kind of pointy thing that's really sharp, and that's for doing bullet holes and stuff like that. So basically the first part you want to do is take your plastic cover and break it. So really easy. You want to break it in a couple of pieces. I don't like to use the piece that has the backing on it, so I don't use that, but I use the other pieces. And you want to be really careful actually when you're breaking the piece. So basically what you want to do is you just want to put the piece together and see how they fit, and what you would like to have as a design for your base. So really easy thing to do. So just put them together and figure out what is like I said, the design that you want to have for those bases, and then you simply have to take some contact glue and then glue it. Make sure that the top has the texture face upwards, and that you glue the type that doesn't have the texture. And I would suggest you put good amount of glue, because these plastic thingy have a tendency to not stick really well to the base, but they do stick alright, but you do need to be careful and put a good amount of glue on them. So you use your imagination, you can do the pattern you want, there's no problem with that. As to when you're making it, you can do a random, hold on a second, you can do random pattern. You can do like here I did a more flatter pattern. Here I did a flatter but with pieces that overlap each other, and here I did pieces that were broken off, so concrete that was broken off together. So basically you want to figure out what the pattern you're gonna be making, and then you glue them. Don't worry about, like you see right now, the piece that I'm sticking right now is a little bit bigger than what the base that I'm actually doing. That doesn't matter. Basically what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna show you how to broke it after, when it's done. So really easy technique using these, and it does really give great looking results. I think it does look pretty nice when you're making this type of bases. So basically I'm going to finish doing this one doing the gluing, and then after that I'm going to show you for the bits and pieces how you can use them. Okay, so basically I finished the base right now. One thing that I want to point out is that Normally people, when they put something on it, they cut it and they put it in. That technique to put the bits and pieces on a base won't work with that, because you're talking about concrete, so technically a thing would not go in the concrete itself. So if you're putting something on top of the concrete, you need to make sure that it's going to be flat, like this broken gun that I put on this one. And if you look at these two pieces that were cut out, I put them outside of the concrete, where I'm going to put some dirt right now, where I'm going to be using them. So that's one thing you need to be careful with, is to think about how things are gonna fall out together. So basically now what I'm gonna do is apply the sand, sand mixture. Really easy. Most of you, if you're in the war gaming, you've done bases before. So you don't need to apply sand if you don't want to, but I want to apply sand on all the areas where there's no concrete. So to simulate that, when they're doing pavement, they always put some gravel under the pavement before they put it. So I want to simulate that gravel, because where the rocks just broke, there's going to be some gravel there. So that's what I want to go for right there. So I'm just applying PVC glue that on these area. And I don't really mind if the PVC glue goes on a little bit on the surface itself, not the surface, but on the pavement itself, because it's been broken down, so it doesn't really matter if it's not right, and if there's a little bit of a pavement on top. So once you've done that, you basically take your I have them in Old Spices pots, so I have my pre-mix different size of pebbles and sand on it. So basically you just want to dip and cover your old model with your old base with it, and then after that, once this is done, you just tap it off and you leave it dry for a moment. So basically that's it. Now I'm going to be showing, this is dry, so I'll be showing you how to make sure that you how can you break it down. So the two things that I like to use to do that is that you can use your straight normal hobby pins, and you can just cut it out to where you want it. And like I said, be careful with your eyes. As you can see right now, it does go crazy when you're using the pins. So another thing I like to do is actually flip it upside down and use my hobby knife and just go in here and cut and break the edges where I think it's gonna be too much sticking out. And basically here we have it, it's done. Now on to the last part for these base. I'm going to do a second part video where I'm going to be actually showing you guys how to paint them. It's really easy to paint them to make it look nice. I'm going to be doing bullet holes, as if there was bullet holes onto the surface. So the first thing, you want to take your drill and drill holes into the plastic. And then once the holes are done, try to do a random pattern as you see, as you would see fit, where holes would actually, or bullet holes would actually be. So you just do this, and so it's really easy. You can do a couple of ones just to make it look more, like somebody shut the floor or something bad is happening. You can do bigger size also, like if there's an ordnance that fell over. And then that's when I use my other little three-sided thingy, is that I put it in, and then actually what I want to do is press it in side here and do all the sides, so that the three sharp edges that are on that tool will go and hit those sides here and make the hole not look perfect. One thing, it's really hard to notice and to see it when, since the plastic covers are clear or smoky type, but once you actually prime it, you can see if you had the desired effect, and then you can modify it then. Another thing is that I want to show you how to do the cracks in the pavement. These are really easy. You take your you can take this tool or your hobby knife, and actually you do a scratch, like lightning pattern. But again, like I just said, it's really hard to see them when you're working, especially for you right now. Probably on the camera you won't be able to see it pretty well. It's really hard to notice when you're working with it in on the clear thing. So you know, just look at it yourself, and you're gonna be able to notice what's good or bad, and how do you think it looks, and then you're gonna be able to modify it and change it or make the cuts deeper and everything. So basically that's it. And it's a really easy, simple way of doing it. One thing, if you ask how did I do that little barricade here, this is really easy. Forge World comes with those little shapy thing on spurs to hold miniature or parts that they do, so I always keep them on the side, and you never know when you need to use it. And here's a good example. So I cut it to good size. I top the top off, right, and then I did holes in on the side to put some metal pins just to simulate rebars, and then I did the bullet holes on it to simulate that somebody was shooting at it. So basically that's it, you know, reusing some Forge World. So like I said in the beginning, really easy, you know, use your imagination and everything. And probably when the base are done and I put the Terminators that I'm making for them on top of it, probably what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some Army Painter Battlefield razor wire, and I'm gonna do some kind of razor wired thingy on it, or I'll see if it matches and everything. But basically that's it. So as Hugo from Ichiban Painting, if you like the video, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.